Hey guys, it's Trisha with Upcycled Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cute little drawstring bag out of a t-shirt sleeve. These are really simple to make, and I actually use them when I'm at craft fairs and I package up people's products in them. So I'm going to show you two ways to do these. I'm going to show you how to do it, maybe some people would call it the right way. So if you want to make a really cute bag like this one with an embellishment or something for someone special, I'll show you how to do all the proper measuring and all that good stuff so you can do one the right way. And then if you're doing some kind of mass-produced, like you want to use them for bags at a craft fair or your shop or something like that, I'll show you how to do them the quick way, which isn't necessarily the right way, but it's my way and it works for me. So let me show you what you'll need to do either one of these bags. The supplies you'll need are, of course, you'll need some sort of a t-shirt sleeve. Now if you make t-shirt yarn like I do, I have a bucket full of sleeves that I've taken off from the places where I make t-shirt yarn. So you'll need a sleeve in any color. You can get away with a pair of scissors if you're not doing it the right way, or if you don't have access to these other tools, because they can be a little bit pricey. If you just want to make one bag, it's not worth it. So a pair of scissors. If you want to do it the right way, I find very helpful to have a square, this plastic square measuring tool so you can make your bags a perfect square, and a rotary cutter. And then you can also use this as the straight edge to use your rotary cutter with. And of course you'll also need a sewing machine. Now if you're doing mass-produced bags, I highly recommend a serger if you have one. And then you can do away with the scissors completely, and the rotary cutter and all that other good stuff. So let me show you how to do it the right way, and then I'll give you some quick tips for doing it the quick way. So to do this the right way, you're going to take your square, and I like to use this hemmed edge as my sort of straight point. So I line up my, let's start this way. I line up one of my straight lines on my ruler with the edge of the t-shirt sleeve in a place where I can make a straight line here. I want to cut this off. So I think that's about good. Okay, so it looks crooked, but when we're done it'll all be squared up. Okay. Then flip it around. Now you're going to make a cut down this side. You want to make sure the side you're cutting is the side that has that inside seam, because if you cut the other side when you go to put your drawstring in, you're going to get stuck because this is sewn closed, it's not open. So we're going to cut right through this and make an opening for our drawstring to go in. So again, line up your pieces so that you have something that looks about straight, and then just cut. Now you should have something that looks about square. You're going to take this and flip it inside out and bring it over to your sewing machine. If you want to add any embellishments to your t-shirt, now is the time to do it before you sew this shut. It just makes it easier to work with if you need to do any sewing. So go ahead and do that if you're interested in adding any kind of embellishments. Otherwise, you can put the open side of your t-shirt onto your machine. We're just going to make a hem. And you want to put the needle past this little point here, because remember, this right here is the hem of the t-shirt where we're going to thread through another piece of t-shirt yarn to make your drawstring. So just go ahead and sew a straight line to the bottom. Jersey is not the easiest thing to work with. It does tend to move around a little bit, so you'll have to be careful of that. And then if you just put your needle down into your fabric, you can turn your whole bag around and then sew down this other open end. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to add box seams. When I'm making these bags for my craft fairs, I don't make a box seam, but I'll show you how to do it in case you want to make a prettier bag. So you're going to take this is your bottom hem. you're gonna make sort of a triangle. So you're gonna take this seam and this fold, and you're gonna kind of squish them together. Let me see if that makes any sense. So you're gonna push this fold towards this seam so that you get a triangle. And sometimes it's easier if you put your finger in there and do it. Just sort of squeeze them so that you end up with this triangle in the corner of your bag where the fold was here and it's now touching the seam on the other side. Okay, and then just stick that triangle underneath your machine. And I usually do about an inch, inch and a half in. You can customize that though for the size of your t-shirt bag or your likes. So go ahead and sew straight across. And then do the same thing on the other side. And then just snip off these little triangles. Just don't cut your seam that you just made, okay? Do the same on the other side. And then flip your bag right side in. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is add our drawstring. And you'll see here I've used a different color to match whatever embellishment I had. And this one I used the same color bag. So it really doesn't matter if you use the same color or not. So on our white bag, I just happen to have the pink laying around. So I'm going to put the end of it on a safety pin. Oops. And then feed your safety pin through one side of your bag. And then just keep pushing your pin and pulling your t-shirt yarn through that hole until you get all the way around. Okay, so now that your drawstring is through, all you need to do is knot the ends of your t-shirt yarn. And then just make sure that your knot is big enough so that it won't slide through the hole. You may have to add another knot to it. And then knot the other side. You can remove that safety pin and then trim off the ugly edges. And that is how you make the basic bag. Your little drawstrings will work now. Just need to pull it closed. You can tie a little bow in that, and that's your bag. Now let me show you what reality is in my world when I make these. So reality looks a little more something like this. I start off with a big pile of t-shirt sleeves. When my bin starts to overflow, I take all of these pieces of sleeves and I don't do any cutting at all to start. They look pretty ratty and they're not straight and they're really choppy. I take it straight to the sewing machine. So I'm going to line this up on my sewing machine just as I did before. I'm going to drop the foot and I'm going to watch this top line, the hem line, as I'm sewing to make sure that it looks straight to me, so I'm totally eyeballing it. And so I'm going to go ahead and start sewing. And I'm going to stop when I get close to all of these bunched up hems. I have a little more ways to go. Okay. And then if your machine does it, I just have a button that puts my needle back down into the fabric so I can lift my foot and move my fabric without getting misaligned. So I flip it 90 degrees and then I'm watching this hem over here again, the same one, and looking to make sure it stays straight as I sew down to the folded part of my sleeve. It's not perfect, but most people don't make their own bags for their products. So what I'm going for is environmentally friendly without completely breaking the bank, because this takes a lot of time for me and I don't charge people for them. So what I end up with is, let me zoom out a little bit, a t-shirt sleeve that looks like this with all the extras still on it. This is where the serger comes in because it does the cutting for you. So I do a whole bunch of these. And when I get a nice big pile ready to go, I move over to my serger. Okay, so if you've never seen a serger, this is what one looks like. And industrial sergers can be a bit expensive, so if you're looking for one, I would look online first, or maybe not look for one that's so heavy duty. Anyway, so what a serger does, if you don't know, is it's really like a sewing machine. You put this underneath, and it sews a finishing edge. It has this funny looking thread. If you look at most of your t-shirts, all of your seams, like this has a serged edge on it. It's just to make the fabric look prettier when it's been sewn. And then it has a blade right here that cuts off all the excess fabric, so I don't have to cut anything. Now you might ask why I even bother put this through the sewing machine. Why don't I just bring it over here and sew it together? The serger is a finishing stitch, so it doesn't hold everything necessarily as sturdy as you'd like it to. So just for security, I do my sewn edges and then I run it through to finish it. So I'll stop talking about it and I'll show you. So, you see how it got all messy right there? Well, I did that on purpose because I wanted to stop sewing. As soon as I got to that line, I didn't have to go any further. So now I'm going to come back and do that line, and you'll see me do something like this, get all funky when I get down to this edge, because I want to leave a little bit of room here that I have an opening for my drawstring. So, let's do it. So what I do is I sew just a little bit, so it's usually a little bit more pronounced than that, but I just want this to go a little bit diagonal so that I can take my scissors and come snip it off. So I'll snip it, and now there'll be an opening for my drawstring. And now just clip off your little funny thread edges and continue as you did with the last one. But I just do like piles and piles of these all at once. So while it might take me a minute to explain it, once you do it, you'll see how quick it is. And then you can you can offer more environmentally friendly packaging in your shops, or when you're doing craft fairs and that sort of thing. Or you can, wrap gifts of your own.